Time to move into the dangerously adorable section of Mid-Season Brawl here for day number 3, as we're going to get a double dose of Deadly Kittens. Say that 3 times fast, as it's going to be 2 series coming from them in the next couple of games. I'm joined here at the Council of the Storm by Gilly, see, approving nod, Dread, and of course Fan here. And overall, we've had some great games so far, but now we move into SPT going up against Deadly Kittens.
It's going to be a wild one.
Yeah.
I think just opening with that statement is probably the best way to preface this entire series. That drafts are going to be a little bit strange. Talents might be even weirder. It's going to be very unpredictable. Probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, already in the last 2 series from either team, from SPT, we've seen such things as Lily. We've seen some Leap, which of course you know I love. But on the other side, Deadly Kittens have shown us 2 Stitches games and an Alarak so far, so get ready for some awesomeness.
Fan, you've kind of been paying attention to these teams as well during the entirety of this thing. Are you sharing the sentiments?
Yeah, hold on, just give me a sec though. Double dose of Deadlykittens, double dose of Deadlykittens, double dose of Deadlykittens. That is hard to say. Holy
You
crap.
almost stumbled at the end.
Oof, almost
made it.
did.
Nice try.
Sonya's
I tried.
slam.
But yeah, I totally agree with Gilly and Dread here. 2 very unconventional teams. This is going to be a very interesting match.
Yep.
Probably very hard to predict what's going to happen before we see it.
We can check in with the groups because we didn't at the very end there. Now we're going to do it right now and see exactly how things are going to go. So far, we have 6-0, 6-0 for Fnatic and E-Star Gaming. As you can see, we're still in Group A, and we're going to see if Deadly Kittens can get back on the road to recovery, because right now, they're in a bit of a rough spot. Not the greatest of positions to be in here for them. But they did go up against SPT. Likewise, a team that isn't looking so hot in that group. So this, for these teams, is an extremely important series considering there's only 3 days left.
Yeah, knowing who each has left to play, I think it's very safe to say that it becomes an almost impossible task for the loser of this match to be able to make it out of groups.
Right, yeah.
And so that does put a lot of pressure on both of these teams, but it also, even whatever team comes out on top, it will still be, I think, very difficult, for them to even be able to scrape by. It is going to be close. And so I feel like a lot of this comes down to what we heard out of, when looking at Korean teams. They start out with maybe not having the most mastered meta, but we know over time, just off of raw mechanical skill, if they figure things out, they will come out on top. And I feel the same with the Chinese region. They historically have been mechanically some of the most demanding players out of there. So I just feel like we're far enough in now to where I feel like SPT does gain a pretty significant advantage here, just even beyond past performances.
All right, so let's focus on SPT a little bit more here as we go down the line. What's something that does stand out for you guys for SPT coming into this tournament?
I mean, go ahead, Tread.
Right now, it's just one unique thing is they've already played 40 unique heroes, which is significantly more than every other team here. Like, a lot of heroes to be played there. Their average game length is sitting a little bit, around the normal area. They are pretty dominant here, whereas like at the other side of the table, the KDA for Deadly Kittens is like at the 0.2, just like statistically, everything about SPT here is screaming that they're going to come out on top.
Another thing to remember about SPT is for those of you at home who like to take unique talent builds, SPT, I would say, out of all of the top 3 Chinese teams from HGC China, is the most innovative with their talent builds. We see things like Twin Blades of Fury. Even here, they've played Toad build, Nazebo. They are extremely innovative with their talents, and when we asked them about that, they specifically said that they take each game individually and size up what their opponents have in a composition, as well as what battleground they're on, and are not afraid to change things up with their talents. And that, for me, has for a long time been one of the most fun things about watching the Chinese region for Heroes of the Storm.
We saw things like Sylvanas from them. We saw things like Lily from them. The Variant came into play in that game as well. What do you think that those kinds of picks are something that we could see here, or was that them trying to do something a bit more wild against MVP Black?
I think those picks are something we could see here. I mean, Gilly mentioned it earlier. Like, those are picks that they did in China, not necessarily just against an opponent that they think is really strong, but those are picks that they do in their own region as well. And I kind of, I remember them saying that they might refrain from going to some of their more unique strategies because Misaka is not currently here, their drafter, but it looks like they're still willing to run some of those. So I would definitely not be surprised if it came out again.
All right, let's look at Deadlykittens, of course. As I said, there will be a lot of Deadlykittens in these next 2 series, as we do have Envy here to start things off as well. What can you guys tell me about Deadlykittens?
I mean, right now, the number one thing is going to be that beyond the amazing, from my perspective, mentality that I feel like this group of players has, I think that's the one thing I have going for them, that even though, yes, right now they might not have the strongest performance at the MSB, they, for me, were the most impressive in their interviews. The feedback that they were able to give, their perspective on, like, you know, we're here, maybe we've split up, we've been grown back together, we're just looking for... We're stuck with our group. There are no better players. So if that's the case, let's find it within ourselves to try and be mature enough to grow. And like ANZ, I compliment them as well. I just have a soft spot, you know, for that mentality, just to find it within themselves rather than using somebody else as an example to try and be like, I want to be like them.
Even in that same interview, they said that they wanted to come in with their own meta, but respect that there are going to be so many different metas here at the Mid-Season Brawl, so they were going to take their first couple of matches, feel things out, see what's working for them, and adapt if necessary. So this does sort of, for me, feel to be their breaking point for that, and it is because they are faced with having to play 2 series in a row here, and their next opponent is MVP Black.
That's very true. So they, as you mentioned, they did try Alarak. They also tried D.Va in that game as well. Is that something that you would maybe like to see them try and utilize here against SPT, or do you have any other preferences?
I mean, if they go on Infernal Shrines, yeah, I would absolutely love to see the D.Va again. And I would say that SPT probably shouldn't sleep on them. Statistically, they are not the favorite team, but, you know, Deadlykittens, I don't think they're any weaker than, let's say, Red Canids. And Red Canids is starting to grow stronger and stronger with every match. So I can definitely see the Kittens, you know, showing up.
All right, it's going to be Towers of Doom for our first map. It's definitely a map that we haven't seen as much of here in the Mid-Season Brawl, but does offer opportunity for some variance in draft.
Yeah, actually, that is one really good point that you bring up. Because we've seen so little of it into this tournament, we're kind of missing maybe some of the rare intricacies that you can find into a draft on Towers of Doom that may not have been exposed here. So going into this map, you know, because there's some wild strategies that are viable on Towers of Doom that are not on others, purely because the map mechanic is just so unique.
In their regional, they actually drafted a double support, double warrior plus tracer comp. We've seen now 2 Stitches games from Deadlykittens, so it's possible if they can play Medivh. And to be honest, even though they had a small amount of games in their regional, they were pretty flexible in how many different heroes they played. So we could potentially be looking at a Stitches Medivh if they can cheese that one out.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. Stitches Medivh, something that used to be pretty common in North America. It does have its power. If you're not expecting it and the Stitches gets his hooks, it can definitely cheese something out here. I would expect normal picks maybe for the first half of the draft, as always. Get the meta picks in there, get the Genji in, you know, Malfurion probably going to fall somewhere, a new Brack, and then we're going to see the shift into the more niche picks afterwards.
Especially with, once again, how much they've had to watch today. You know, these picks are almost what we see every single time around now, so becoming very standard, regardless of map.
I just, the fact that Deadlykittens committing to the Anubrak and the Malfurion, I want to see where SPT's next 2 picks go, but right now, this looks extremely, extremely standard to the tournament meta overall. When it comes to power spikes, there are a little bit of fluctuation, but well, there's the adjustment there, having the early Stitches. I was going to say, if SPT conformed to what we've seen, you know, from a majority of the teams here, I would begin to question if, like, everybody, every team is just suddenly goes, like, there is going to be no variation. Soon, our picks are just seem to be closing in and closing into where we end up with, like, only 20. And Stitches, though, shows that SPT still bringing out the creativity, their own regional flavor, really, because I feel like Stitches is such a Chinese hero, really, right now.
Do you recommend they pick Stitches when they're away from Rhaegar coming in? When they're away from China, they're surprised by how he looks, because in China, obviously a lot of that is not depicted. It's kind of an interesting thought, but there you go.
That is actually interesting. I bet that they play with their own client still. The client would be in their own language, so it probably still doesn't look any different than them because, I mean, you would never want to play on something that you don't feel like you can immediately identify. But you are correct. So just even watching the broadcast, right, around the building, they'd be like, that was not the hero I remember myself playing.
Yeah. All right, Rhaegar came in as well. Pretty early Rhaegar pick considering.
Yeah. I think they're they really want to get like at least a good support.
Yeah.
I know some people like picking Monk in this case. I'm a big fan of picking a Merker on Towers of Doom. So if you have like a Greymane or an Illidan, then I like the Monk, assuming Uther and Malphite are gone. But if you don't, then the Rhaegar is actually a way for yourself to, you know, free yourself of that obligation. Rhaegar can Merc, so you don't need to draft other heroes that can do it now.
Especially with how well calculated it feels like the bottom lane is of Towers of Doom nowadays. It's almost like clockwork that people are actually executing that kind of lane construction.
Yeah, it's kind of gotten to the point where it's almost Cursed Hollow-ish. You know, you hit the 2-minute mark. What are the teams doing? They're getting their Giants. It is the same thing. We know the altars are going to be coming up. Oh, here's the double sapper. Let's put heavy emphasis there into the bottom lane. So it has really internationally kind of become a very common trend there. And the Greymane now being removed by SPT. Very solid considering just it's been a go-to for everybody in the tournament. Deadlykittens is no exception. So what do we see here? I mean, obviously, Deadlykittens needs some form of backline. They're going to go Zeratul Li Ming, so just going for the very aggressive composition there with the new. Man, I like it. I think it's a solid response. It's just, I am afraid just because I truly think that SPT's power level is pretty far ahead.
Yeah, two things about the Stitches pick here that I don't necessarily love. I wonder if they could have picked the Stitches for last pick because the enemy team already picked a Nubrak. Do you really think they're going to run a Nubrak Stitches? So that's the first thing. When you pick Stitches in your 2-3, it leads to this draft. When you're showing a Stitches, your enemies are going to counter with things that are good against Stitches. So they immediately counter with the Zeratul, the Li Ming, two heroes that are extremely hard, if not impossible, to reliably hit with hooks. Whereas if they left it for last pick, they could have maybe gotten some different picks out there that would have been more vulnerable. And then the second thing is I think when you pick Stitches, you need a follow-up.
Right,
so right now, I don't see a follow-up. Tyrael is not a follow-up. Rhaegar's not a follow-up. Genji has no stun, nothing. So right now, I guess they're going to just go for the Hook Gorge, maybe? That's like the only thing I see that could make the hooks work.
I was going to say, haven't we seen this like once or twice now in the tournament where they have a Stitches, but like no follow-up to actually...
Honestly, from my interpretation of Chinese approach, what does Stitches mean to the Chinese region? Before this tournament, it was never a hook follow-up style play like we saw out of Europe, for instance. It was very much, I view him as a bruiser, and I feel like they interpret him that way. They build him full slam. I mean, original Stitches was the same way. Yes, he has a hook, and that factor is always need to be able to have, but you aren't relying on him for that. You're using that as an accent tool to maybe further a small advantage. It's more of the slam utility, the AoE damage output, the single survivability he has. I mean, with the nerfs coming into certain warriors, he is at the top threshold of not only survivability, but then also DPS. The only problem is he doesn't have a reliable CC. Well, that's his weakness.
My question is, yeah, exactly. There is just better if you want to fulfill that role.
Yeah, exactly. If you want a bruiser, why not just draft a bruiser, you know?
I mean, I would argue that there are other heroes that are definitely generally going to be better, but I think he's actually really undervalued. His damage output, look at some of the numbers after these games, I would argue he is going to be higher than any mid-tier performing backliner. Like, I just feel like we're really undervaluing the damage output that he can trade into. Because with Bio, especially on top of it, his passive constantly dropping.
But it's kind of like the old Sylvanas thing. Is it really effective damage? You know? When it looks to the heroes.
It is not 10 out of 10, but it makes him, I would say, a mid-tier Arthas. Again, he doesn't have the Howling Blast, but he's got the AoE slow to be able to prop onto a lot of targets. He has the utility to be able to slow onto his W. It's just, I mean, old school Stitches, one of the biggest beefy frontliners that you can have, and it's no exception here.
Anyway, I think we could have these discussions for ages, and we end up doing many times after broadcasts. But anyway, we're going to go into predictions. Gillyweed, starting with you.
I like the idea of having Putrid Bile, Gust, Sanctification, things to get through the Wombo, but I still do believe in the Wombo of the Deadlykittens, especially in adding Ragnaros to the Void Prison 2 plus the Twilight Dream. So my prediction is for Deadlykittens.
Cool. Okay.
Going Stitches, SPT. Especially it's Stitch's best map. You know, that's another thing we haven't even talked about. The fact that he can siege in those sappers. He's got a lot of dope things. I'm going SPT.
Finally you?
You know, my brain says SPT here, but as far as the drafts go, I do like the Kittens draft a little bit more. So I think I'm going to go with the Kittens.
Fan the tiebreaker brings it 2-1 for the Kittens here for the moment. We can check in with what you guys think at home as well with the good old hashtags. And that's pretty close. Oh, it's moving. And it moved back. Oh well. So that is going to do it for us here. We're going to go to game number 1, and we're going to indeed have Tetra and Grubby bringing you all the action for Deadlykittens versus SPT.
Yes, we are, and both of these teams looking for some points, Grubby, looking to try and get themselves on the board. We are heading in to Towers of Doom for our first map. And Grubby, would you like to introduce the team on the left?
Here on Towers of Doom, we've got SPT in the blue on the left, and Melody C on Genji, Simba on Stitches, on Rhaegar, Wings on Tyrael, and Chen Xiao on Falstad.
Whereas on the right-hand side, it is the Deadlykittens, with Mur on Anubarak, Stronger on Malfurion, Zaze on Zeratul, NSJ on Li Ming, and Enavir on Ragnaros. And level 1, Slamble Stitches, fairly standard. Sulfurus, Empower Sulfurus Hungers on the Ragnaros.
Now, this is the most okay situation I've seen Ragnaros in yet. You've got the potential to go Void Prison into Entangled, Twilight Dream, and bada bing, bada boom, Sulfurus Smash. It's pretty good, but there's one constant element for some of these minor regions who have been running Ragnaros early on. They die before level 10.
Yeah,
sometimes many times.
Look how far Ragnaros is on the map. He's already like dead center in the top lane.
That's because his level 1 talent goes against the methodology of Heroes of the Storm lane management at high level. Pushing the lane when you're a solo laner puts you at risk. It may seem nice during the first wave, but what about that second wave? Look at that minimap, Ragnaros. He is standing there in that bush. He is a target. And the next time he wants to soak that wave, he's got to go forward. Genji was looking like he might be ambushing Ragnaros, but Zaze on Zeratul is doing a very good job stopping Melody C from going there. Now he has shown that. Look at this. Falstad goes for Ragnaros. Genji comes in. Ragnaros goes down.
Yep.
Easy peasy. And why is that? It's because Chen Xiao and Falstad did not kill the minions. That means that Deadlykittens' minion wave continued to fight on the left side. You push one wave, you die. This has been happening every time to the point where I'm getting a little bit frustrated about it.
Yep.
Go for the Meteor build, go for the Blast Wave build, don't push the lane.
Like, in theory, even Sulfurus Hungers, it's only 30. You can stack it up throughout the game. You don't have to stack
Start
it
stacking
in the
it at level
first 6
10.
minutes.
Just
you
stack
can't
it
wait.
Yeah.
It's just, everyone's so impatient and wants to win the lane super
They're-
hard. Speaking of winning things, Super Perfect Team are going to win this camp. But we are seeing some good damage here coming in from NSJ on the Li Ming. Molten Core also popped to
That's
try and siege them on the retreat. Simba taking some damage just in time for the objective as well, but Zaze getting zoned out.
All right, now they will not have Molten Core to buy time anymore for the bottom or the top, and they're falling behind in XP, which means they are being put under the gun here. Deadlykittens has to fight over 2 altars without level 4 advantage, so they need to buy time. They're doing a good job so far. Zeratul has grabbed the top, but Stronger zoned out. Very nice moves by Wings, putting even more damage on him, and that is 8 cannon shots to the side of SPT. Very well done. They take a lead here.
Yeah, and Chen Xiao actually just let that all happen. He grabbed his own ultra in top lane, and then instead of trying to... Wings! Down
Nice
goes! The helping hand
job.
was attempted. Now Melody C's in trouble, but he's Genji. He's out. But yeah, Chen Xiao tried, grabbed his own ultra there. He could have gone to the enemy one and tried to contest against Zeratul or whoever else was running up there, or flown to bot. No, he trusted his team to win that fight, and instead went straight to top lane where there was a big minion wave pushing up and got his team a big boost in XP, which has unfortunately been lost due to that kill, but it still helps out in the long run. All XP matters.
Ragnaros is 18 out of 30 stacks on his smash, but he is extended again. He's moving to Falstad at enemy gate. There we go.
And
He gets
his
slowed.
Melody
He's greedy
C.
for the one-on-one.
And he
gets
goes
killed.
down. Yeah, this is I'm beginning to get deja vu, and Tracer isn't even in this game. Wings as well, also being focused out. There's deja vu. Zaze gets hooked. He's Zeratul, just blinks away.
So anytime you're one-on-one on the map and you don't see any of your allies coming towards you and your opponent is willingly taking a losing fight, which Falstad was, your spider senses need to start tingling. Deadlykittens loses Ragnaros again. Nice little move here on Rhaegar, but without Calamity, ultimately they lack the amount of damage needed to take him out.
Yep, no Calamity yet as it comes up at next level for the Deadlykittens, which they are attempting to soak. Zay scouts this camp is being done as well, decides not to test it. They see him as he
going for the
reveals
1-on-2.
himself, but he does miss, and as such has to pull back.
I think his Singularity Spike hit a Sapper. Anyway, he was going for 1 versus 2. Now, Chinese meta endures,
Yes.
Tetcher. You're pointing it out already. Secret weapon on Falstad, not that boomerang.
Yep, not going.
Oh, nice! Very
there's
nice
that
double stun
Calamity.
by Mirror. Calamity, Wings. Wings goes down as well. That's 2 kills for Deadlykittens.
Deadlykittens turning it up on that altar phase. It's still a 1-for-1 on the trade, but overall, great move there by the Deadlykittens, grabbing those 2 kills and pushing themselves towards that level 9. Hook onto Mur, but they actually are able to body block
nice
Simba
entangle.
incredibly with the entangle, but
Moonfire!
Oh, nicely done, Stronger.
Stronger. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, or what stronger kills makes us better.
him more XP, I guess.
Makes the XP faster, getting a little bit of into Daft Punk territory now. Boss is there, Headless Horseman is available. This is fairly early to take a boss, and unlike on other maps, it doesn't buy you any time. It just gives you 4 cover shots. It's a bit too risky to take that now.
It buys you real life time because you win the game quicker because the core goes down and then you've earned more seconds of your life.
Yeah, but all the shops are closed already in Sweden. I think this is pretty much their priority.
It's not Sunday anymore. Some of the things will be
It's
open.
9 o'clock, bruh.
It is 9 o'clock.
It's Europe. Everything closes after 6.
This is a weird concept for my UK brain. Either way, though...
Which is not Europe anymore.
It's still Europe for now. It leaves soon. Stronger, moving backwards, getting focused down by
entangle.
Wings, but a Nubarak and the great entangle, keeping him alive, but the chase is so real. Early C wanted it, decides against it though. Wings is not done yet, and instead takes some good damage from that Calamity. Simba, again, getting crazy body blocks, and a good tunnel in from Mur, trying to finish him off. They turn on him super aggressively though, and he goes down. Zaze is looking for moves in. He's able to take down Xin Zhao, but the reset from Early C. He turns around into the back line. He wants everyone down. Li Ming gets another reset, and with dominance, that is going to be enough to dissuade Early C. He dodges himself, Mirror Smash minion. Oh, it doesn't turn around. There it is. That's 2 Moonfire kills this game by Stronger.
Yep, very nice job there. Getting Genji with the Moonfire. Doing the job that Enavir on Ragnaros could not do. Let's look at that again. This was an absolutely crazy fight. Look at that NSJ with Calamity getting the kills. Now Blast Wave on Li Ming, getting damage on Rhaegar, doing the finish.
Yeah, and just crazy. Oh, hello, someone's cocooned as we come out of that replay. And the positioning is there. Can they drop the CC? Yes, they can.
That's how to do it.
You follow up, but Falstad in position for the save anyway. Good use of the Mighty Gun.
Now Deadlykittens got 2 tower shots out of that, so suddenly they pull ahead. 80% of a level ahead, 4 shots ahead. They were previously down by that much in both regards. So very good job by Deadlykittens. And this has turned out to be an all-out brawl, Tetcher.
Yes, it has. Genji, by the way, has yet to pick his heroic. The Void Prism is used. He's gone for the Dragon Blade. He is getting ready. Coming in from the side. Sanctification is dropped. Falstad moving on to the point into the sack. First kill onto Malfurion straight away. And Enavir is destroyed. NSJ trying to escape, but he gets absolutely detonated. And Genji goes all the way deep. He wants Zaze as well. Can he reveal him? Zaze reveals himself. And Melody C starts focusing him down. They chase him in. And Zaze is taken out. That is a team wipe by Super Perfect Team.
Very well played here by Super Perfect Team, but I have to be critical here. Deadlykittens willingly invaded a camp on account of following an Uberak, doing an iffy Void Prison, which also made Arcane Orb and Missiles miss, during a time where Cocoon and Sulfurous Smash were not available. And also Twilight Dream got blocked by Sanctification. So that was a missed timing. Sanct takes half a second, so does Twilight Dream. That means that you start Twilight Dream half a second before Void Prison ends, and it basically becomes unmissable. But Tyrael, he was too fast. Wings got that Sanctification down, and a slight mistiming here by Deadlykittens. And a poor judgment going in without their heroics. Very good collapse though by SPT. They took the camp with 2, but they were very fast in their rotation to react to the threat of Deadlykittens. It has to be said. If they didn't bring all 5, SPT wouldn't have had that 5-man wipe.
So a couple members of SPT attempting to guard this camp in. But with 4 members down here, it's not going to happen. But they're still in a great position to at least take the altar while they have that extra shot in the bottom. So they still get a net value from this.
Very good job by SPT. And because they're threatening sappers, it forces a high number of defenders by Deadlykittens, which means there isn't as much soak in the other 2 lanes. So this slows down the comeback a little bit. Deadlykittens have yet to get their level 13 talent.
Yeah, they're attempting to farm their way towards it with Rag in the mid lane, but the lane is too pushed up. That hasn't stopped Rag in the past, but this time he is playing a little bit safer and instead moves to top lane, where Falstad is already there waiting for him. The rest of Deadlykittens searching around maybe for an easy pick. As long as everyone's not grouped up, they might have a chance. A little bit of a duel in that top lane.
I find, okay, SPT had all their heroics available and they knew where Deadlykittens were. They had talent lead for another 10 seconds. And I just feel a team could have tried to make use of that. Instead, they allowed Deadlykittens to catch up to relative equality once again. SPT now is playing a neutral style where they hope to get pickoffs again here and there, waiting to see maybe if Ragnaros will overextend. But both teams have scouted each other out.
Yep, and the familiar sight of Zaze and Merly trading blows. This time it is going to be Zaze who comes out far ahead. Merly having to take advantage of that healing totem from Rhaegar to get a little bit of his health back. As the camp does push in, hook onto Rag. The cleanse is good, and he is easily able to pull out.
The cleanse was actually a quarter of a second too late. If you land it early, the hook will bounce off like rubber. But if it's that late, he may be unstoppable, but he'll still keep flying. So it didn't do that much, but at the same time, there was no follow-up possible because Cleanse still had the residual effect.
The slow's not here yet for Stitches, so there was nothing really affected by that. Oh, my bad.
I think Zeratul was looking to do a Void Prison, but he changed his mind. He used his Vorpal to port back in. Now he's got to wait for his next rotation of abilities. Levels relatively even, just that 1 level lead by SPT, but no reason to avoid a fight. Deadlykittens looking to grab 2 altars at the same time.
Yeah, they're going to try and they've already got top secure. Melody C. Good delay on bot so far. Even trade, and everyone moves their way down to bot. Cocoon could be used here to try and delay this. Melody C.
Oh no, secret weapon!
All the way around. So much damage. Mur getting chased in. The Dragon Blade focuses down, but the Cocoon stops it. We still see a noob go down. The Cocoon is popped, and Genji still going to sack. Completely denies the Molten Swing, and it's a massacre by Super Perfect Team. They continue to go in. Molten score, trying to kill Falstad. Ancestral used to save him though, and they move back in for this bell tower. Enavir is chased all the way. They want NSJ too, but Illusionist saves him. They're going to be never mind.
And so our desolation is complete.
So they get all the kills. Another team wipe for Super Perfect Team. They get the bell tower. They're going to get a camp, and they can get that extra shot from the altar in the bottom lane. 100% super perfect from this team.
Yep, and a bunch of dead kittens there, as that is a lot of tower shots there. 5 to the side of SPT. Now there was a play there for Deadlykittens. While Zeratul was capping, Nubarak could have moved into the bottom left bush, just Cocoon Genji, cap the altar and move out. Instead, Deadlykittens went for the Hail Mary. They moved in, missed the burrow charge, and got chunked by that very special Falstad Chinese special build. The secret weapon Giant Killer with the afterburners at level 16. Definitely different. A lot of damage pressure on the Nubarak.
That was a great holy ground, but it was Zeratul unfortunately caught with it. He was able to blink out. But Super Perfect Team, they really seem to not be behind guiding in the camps. It's the first one that actually seems to be putting in a lot of effort into attempting to bring in. Only one of them is currently alive, though, due to that consistently Ming poke. Hook lands, a noob able to tunnel out. Falstad, by the way, is also grabbing another camp in the top lane, but the final Sapper is dropped in.
The cool thing about these kind of things, pushing in camps and defending the enemy bell tower, is that when you have Chromie or Stitches, you constantly pressure a kill on the entire defending squad. So it's not like you're just both wasting time. You keep having an opportunity to do something. Now, Deadlykittens, I like it. They're being proactive about this. Zaze is trying to get a kill on Chen Xiao. Moving in. Let's see if he can be... Ah, he's been spotted.
Yeah,
I've been made.
I've been rumbled. He decides to pull back towards his team, but instead it's going to be a bit of a duel. Melody coming in to help, but Zeratul trying to get away. Speed boost Menevere. Oh, the boss gets aggroed, but he's still out of there.
I feel like Menevere was trying to hide the fact that he was there, but he lost his cool and he actually cast Blast Wave, which meant that Genji knew it was no longer a one-on-one.
Yeah, but either way, everyone survives. So overall good, but like you said, he lost his bottle there. Simba takes a lot of harassment, but still alive, able to get some health back by devouring one of Anubrak's beetles.
Very nice movement by SPT. All they do is interrupt. They don't want to fight into Molten Core yet. They hook Anubrak out of it. Holy Ground was actually a super cool idea, but just not enough range against Anubrak's level 4 talent Burrow Charge. Now the fight is breaking out in all earnest. Cocoon comes out, Void Prison comes out.
The Future Bile is slowing a lot of members. Gus to try and separate them out. The Cocoon is popped. The Sulfura Smash only hits Genji, who is cleansed. The Twilight Dream hits so many members, though. Rhaegar is deleted, but so is Deadlykittens. So many low health bars, super perfect team, but it's not going to be enough. It is now just stronger. Can he get his third Moonfire kill onto Genji? No, he can't. Genji is snuck away, and Zhendao gets the kill, and that's going to be more shots going on to the Kittens core.
This is the kind of Genji and invulnerability fights I like to see, and if not once, then why not a second time as well? Look at that. The Twilight Dream is amazing, but Genji is just going ham, swooping in and out of that sanctification and getting kills left and right.
And then able to poke down Enevere as well. That bell tower still alive in the bottom lane. They decide against camps though, and instead move up to the core. Those extra to the boss. Sorry, those extra 4 shots onto core will put them in a great position to try and end the game with the next altar phase, or with some mercenaries moving in for it. A noob is around here. NSJ sends in some missiles, but wasn't able to find anything. Even with Holy Ground down, they are able to guarantee that no way that the Kittens could have interrupted unless they'd cocooned way earlier. And with not everyone there, not worth the risk.
So Deadlykittens is getting to a point where they are either fighting a Storm talent down, or they have to fight in a bad position. They need to group up as 5 and take a fight right now, or accept that whatever next fight they take, they're going to be a Storm talent down. And that is tough.
They have 8 seconds, 5 seconds until Molten Core. If they did want to fight, now would be the time. Not everyone's
they
even
just need
here.
to go. I like this. This is exactly what they need to be doing. The hook to take off 1 second.
The Gust, Tyrael, he's dying.
Oh,
he
that's
is
nice.
gone. Very nicely done. And Deadlykittens able to pick up the kill.
Okay, but that's just 1 kill. You can't let up now. Level 20 is being reached, but Deadlykittens needs to get another kill.
Deal with this pretty quickly.
My word, 6 sappers.
Sapper, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it lives. We are at the stage of the game where the bell tower is actually pretty tough, and the cyber agility to dodge the Singularity Spike.
All right, so Void Prison is available. 1 altar comes up, and this fort is not killable yet. It's still transforming. This is an issue.
Genji still microing away. Simba point blank hook, just annoying.
There's going to be a VP here. It has to be.
They kind of have to. Stitches, Ancestral Lands. There's the VP on 2 members. Early C trying to distract.
No Gust.
No Gust. He's used it earlier. Storm Shield though, keeping them alive. The Twilight Dream landing onto Rhaegar as he's dropped so low. Meteor to finish him. He prompts the fountain and will survive. Mur is low as well, but the cocoon will soon pop on Genji. There's the Gust. Genji focused down, drops the deflect to stay alive.
Zaze misses his Singularity Spike on a stationary target. The Burrow, actually the Impale by Anubrak was perfect right before he got gusted, but the follow-up wasn't there. Hook narrowly misses. Can they zone out Genji?
Oh, you can't zone him, but you can certainly try and focus him down when he jumps in as he keeps trying. Deflection dropped once again. Furious lands on only Stitches though. He tags through it. Wings pushing forward. There's the sack, but everyone's rooted out of it. They finally begin moving forward. Hook hits onto Zeratul. They want to finish him off. Simba storm shielded and finally gets killed off. Disintegrate trying to kill one more as they move on to Wings, who is deleted here.
Deadlykittens wins the level 18 versus 20. This is incredible. They only had 1 heroic available in this fight. 2. So first, Smash and Disintegrate. And they were going up against Gust, Putrid Bow, and so on and so forth. They do the near impossible. That altar was game point for them, and they defended with flying colors. And suddenly, everything is possible again, Tetcher.
Yes, it is. They have that bell tower back. They only got 3 shots off of that altar because they only had 2 bell towers and their core available. And their core is not looking that good either right now with only 5 points left. That is 1 turn in and then either any single sapper or the boss needed for super perfect team. But Deadlykittens, they are now even on talents.
They're wasting time though. They're standing there as 5 in the mid lane, not doing much. What they needed to be doing is either attack the SPT team in the top lane or kill a fort or kill 2 forts. There were still 2 dead. Stitches and Tyrael, or was it Balstan and Tyrael? I think Stitches and Tyrael. They were dead, and Deadlykittens they are making some use of it. They have now killed the bottom fort, and they are running in sappers.
Single sapper moving in this top
Yeah, they want to
lane.
stop the sapper.
They
Hey,
do.
Gust?
End of it. Try to clear it. He could gust, but it looks like he's not going to take the
it's a big risk.
Sapper dies. Falstad pulling back. Needs to pull back a lot quicker. Zeratul's on the way.
But he has Epic Mount. It's
He has
only
Epic
half a
Mount.
second
He's not
activation
using
time.
it though. It's a port. Oh, they didn't see him. That would have been incredible if they got that kill. That would have been such a big deal as the ulti phase begins. Super Perfect Team take their own bell tower back. Once again, giving them a bell tower advantage. But nice
That's a good
move here by Deadlykittens. They know that if they don't take this, then it is a lethal core damage. There's the cocoon. Can they follow it up? DK Mirror is hooked here. The cocoon is dropped, and Genji tanks through it thanks to the unstoppable. Here comes the Molten Core on the proxy fort, trying to get the kill here. VP is dropped, but now what? You're delaying the Molten Core damage.
Oops. Well, it's
There
still
we go.
available.
There's the Ancestral, keeping them alive. Sank counters it, though. Neither of these bell towers are being gone for. And Ragnaros popped out of that Molten Core there as both teams move up. It's non-lethal core damage currently. If Super Perfect Team were to take it, thanks to that bell tower being taken.
Zeratul just grabbed 1. That means non-lethal no matter what.
Here's the boss hook on the
Yes, Bolt.
stronger, not the right target here. He does have
Oh,
Bolt.
he goes in
with it. Bolt, there's the Twilight Dream.
There's
They
a
turn it
bloodbath.
onto Simba. Tyrael is dead. He explodes onto Zaze. Genji's going deep and he dies. It's a full team wipe by Deadlykittens. They're gonna. What are they gonna do?
Yeah, don't cap it, of course. What you do here, you heal up, you make sure you're healthy. Then you take 1 fort minimum, maybe 2. Then you capture the thing. Then you capture the other thing. The altar and then the boss. Look at this bloodbath. Li Ming having a field day. 2, 3, 4.
The balls on Malfurion bolting in with less than a third of his health for the Twilight Dream that won them the fight. Beautiful play, and Deadlykittens take down at least 1 bell tower, and for the first time they have a bell tower lead. They move on to the boss. Maybe altar first, boys. Come on.
No,
They're doing it quick enough.
I
It
think
should be
this
fine.
is okay. I was just wondering. Yeah, I don't think you can get a fort and the altar and the boss. So by doing the boss, you remove the possibility of losing a fight and then losing boss to the opponent, putting yourself at 1.
So many shots.
This is actually pretty nice. So you heal up, you trade to take some sappers, maybe another fort, and you try to stay 1 step ahead of SPT in continuing to have more bell towers than the opponent.
Grubby.
Yes.
Deadlykittens are in the lead
Incredible.
and have lethal core damage if they get another bell tower, as another altar with the current amount of bell towers that they have. Both teams dancing around here, looking for camps.
Thatchers, hold me, I'm scared.
They're moving in. Simba trying to zone with the putrid pile. The burrow is used. The hook does not land.
This could be Ragnaros' first win in the entire tournament, but at the same time, SPT has been playing out of their mind as well, but they're struggling a little bit now. How can they get back in this? They've been losing the fights previously, but a good Holy Arena sanctification with Genji's Dragon Blade could still do it.
Cocoon is used.
It's on,
and gets
Thatcher.
completely wiped. Gust to disengage. The Sulfura Smash does land on Melody C, but they are able to pull back. That is Molten Core and Sulfura Smash, both used there.
And Cocoon and Putrid Bile. Okay, Cocoon is coming back in 40 seconds. Molten Core should be about 70 seconds away. Another hook on the Nubrak, Holy Ground. But, you know, Nubrak is able to shake it off. Now, big move by Melody C, doing damage on Zace.
We're also seeing Mur taking some crazy damage. Tyrael tried to Holy Ground to zone.
Next hook soon.
But was not able to land it. Next hook is very soon. It doesn't land. Completely whiffed there. Putrid Bile also dropped here as Simba just going to use it to clear the wave at this point.
Putrid Bile down. Pretty important heroic.
Yeah. So Bells, here come the altars. This is lethal damage for Deadlykittens, not lethal damage for Super
Whoa!
Perfect Team. And Xin
Xin
Zhao, he
Zhao!
goes down. There's
Void
the
Prison!
VP. And Deadlykittens, they're setting up. Sanctification needs to be dropped.
Oh,
It is
nice
keeping them alive,
Sanctification.
but there's someone in the cocoon right now. That's a big knock of damage.
Submerge!
In goes the Submerge. Ancestral landing on wings.
Dragon
Here
Blade!
goes Genji going in for Enevere. And he
Genji!
gets one. He goes for two. He gets two. Zaze is in full retreat.
Oh!
And Super Perfect Team coming up big for Manny C getting chased down. Zaze has no health as well. If Manny C can get even these kills, they get the kill. It is now a 2 versus 3 in favor of Deadlykittens. They need to split. They
If he
need
gets
to
it!
split.
If he gets it!
It is denied for now. Zane's getting focused down now. And Stitch is getting
Stitch!
crashed in the bot
Whoa,
lane.
okay.
Stereo
Oh.
got it. Tyron's coming down. He's no mana.
He knows he
has
can't
it.
win.
He's demounted. He's not going to make it in time. And no,
Whoa!
started it, but he dies. Now they can only get it. They completely split up. And that is going to be GG. Deadlykittens out of nowhere taking the first game of this series. What a comeback.
One win for Deadlykittens, one win for Ragnaros, and one win for Southeast Asia, Philippines. Unbelievable.
That is a comeback. And that is the joy of Towers of Doom, that you can do this. There's no backdooring the core on this map. No chance for Super Perfect Team to innovate our other Chinese team, E-Star, from earlier today. And that is, at minimum, a single point now for Deadlykittens. Can they make it 3 points?
Well, that was pretty incredible. I don't know if they can make it 3, but SPT still have hopes to make it 1 with the tiebreaker. And what a game. One of the most entertaining games today. Absolutely incredible, that comeback. And that's why we love Towers of Doom.
Just a quick shout here before we throw over to our analysis. We have 100,000 hero damage on Li Ming, 84 on Genji at the end of that. But to discuss this further, we're sending you over to our analyst concave.
The only way that could have been more of a bloodbath is if Jay Howe was here and he was recommending the Butcher be in the game. That was a lot of death. There was how many team wipes were there in that game? There was a lot of team wipes.
It was a lot of fun to be able to watch. It's so action-packed because the entire first half of the game, SPT seemed like they had pretty strong control,
rolling.
and then it hit the 20-20 mark, and Deadlykittens just never let go.
It felt like there are a lot of Twilight Dreams
Yes.
that got stopped by Sanks, right?
Yeah.
But the one that mattered,
Yeah.
the Volt in, oh, the dream. I want to be stronger when I grow up. That's all I
Yeah.
have to say.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, Fan, I think you do have a replay for us. I did ask just before he came here, by the way, which replay did you pick? Because there's so much chaos in this game.
Yeah, so this is the one of many fights where Li Ming popped off. If we can pause right here. So we see this fight starts off with a hook on the Malfurion. You see he got hooked in, immediately ice blocks, and then he says, oh, you want to hook me into your team? Well, I'll just blink into the middle of your clump here and get a 4-man dream. So if we play on here, that is the start of the setup. So this sets up the Li Ming. Now I want you guys to look at NSJ on the Li Ming here. Very accurate. First deletes the false stat instantly, immediately turns his sight on Wings, lands 4 missiles, deletes him, turns his sight on Simba, lands 4 missiles, deletes him, sees Rhaegar, deletes him. And then, you know, this is just the Li Ming show. Lands 4 missiles again, lands the W, and deletes the Genji. And Genji on the other side was cleaning people up really fast too, but NSJ there just showed really amazing mechanics. Basically just popped off with that Twilight Dream setup and killed everything.
Gilly was saying that's the Twilight Dream, but that's the Li Ming Dream
was.
right there. Because once you get the opportunity to say, nobody can do anything to me, I can be boop, 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 boop. It's so much fun, so much fun.
It was the game of resets, right? Who's going to get them first?
Yeah.
Because Genji had a lot of really good ones too.
Yeah.
It was a high-octane game. We were trying to, not to scream too much, but we were yelling a little bit
Just a little
here.
excitement.
It's a little exciting.
Just a little.
Especially after that dream. Another audible of just, oh, coming
Yeah.
out from me.